I just got woken up by the alarms this morning and started wandering around my apartment and just got out of there as quick as I can when I started smelling smoke.
Fire officials say 19 people escaped this early morning blaze that ripped through the Edinburgh apartment building in downtown Fargo.
We were just hanging out this morning, heard the fire alarm, open the door in the basement, flames shot through the door. Just was really concerned about the people across the hall. That's where the fire started.
Fire investigators believe the fire started in the basement and then raced to the upper floors. They're not saying what sparked the blaze, but witnesses say a burning candle may be to blame.
Something about a candle. Someone fell asleep with a candle. Apparently it's an old building, went up really, really quick.
There's a potential that a gas line had broken off inside somewhere, and that fueled the fire.
For more than 4 hours, the stubborn inferno refused to die, at one point tearing through the roof on the west end, and then working its way toward the east end.
The fire was all up in the attic, and we're fighting it from outside with the heavy water streams.
As a result of this fire, one woman is being treated at Mericare Hospital for smoke inhalation. Relatives say she'll stay there overnight for observation.
Bring the pressure down a little bit.
Firefighters say in this case, many people were fortunate to have gotten out alive, but some people say their pets who are still inside may not be so lucky.
I got a cat up there. And honestly, I don't care about the stuff. I really don't, but I've had that cat for a long time now.
Sean Tobin, KVLY News 11.
We have folks over there that lost the keys for their cars. Their cars are sitting there with no way to start them. When you get out with nothing, it's nothing. We have folks that lost credit cards, so it's a real financial hardship for these folks.
Really, it doesn't even seem real, you know? I mean, even still, now that I've been inside and seen everything burnt and wet, I can't believe it.
15 apartments were destroyed when fire ripped through the Edinburgh apartment building in North Fargo.
The ceiling was kind of taken down, and there was water and icicles hanging all over the place, and it was a mess.
13 of those apartments were occupied.
I'm going to be staying with a friend over in Moorhead for a while.
All of the people who once lived here now have to rebuild their lives.
There's going to be a long list of things that these folks are going to have, and and like I say, they've got to change of clothes, and that's about it.
And the main thing they need is a new place to call home.
In reality, finding a place to live now becomes a full-time job.
But they won't be alone in their search. The Red Cross, Salvation Army, and Goldmark, the company that manages the Edinburgh building, are helping the victims relocate.
If we can find them apartments, we'll transfer their deposits. If we can't, of course, the obvious is we cancel the lease and we return their deposits. But we're doing everything we can to try to find them a permanent place to live again.
In the meantime, most of the victims are with friends and family, while the others are staying in hotels. Tracy Frank, KVLY News 11.
It's one of the most solemn and sacred ceremonies of the Catholic Church.
I testify that they have.
The sacrament of holy orders, when a man becomes a man of God. On this day, Bishop Samuel Aquila ordained 3 men into the priesthood: Deacons John Arts, Richard Finio, and John Cazito.
My brothers.
But these men now find themselves coming into a church in crisis. Recent cases of sexual misconduct by some priests, and in some situations, church leaders trying to cover it up, have rocked the church to its core. But Bishop Aquila, who calls these new priests a blessing to the diocese, also made clear the church's view on such behavior.
And the sexual misconduct acts of a few priests, those acts have been heinous crimes. And they have been brought about because of a failure among bishops and priests to respond to the call to holiness.
A call that can come at any time in one's life, and for Father John Cazito, who grew up in Uganda, it was an early one.
Country begin when you are still young, so I began when I was in grade 5.
If a vocation is genuine, God will bring it to fruition. So I would encourage any young man or any woman to persevere religious life and take it slow. but don't close the door altogether, and don't run scared because of what the media or the world is telling you to do.
Sean Tobin, KVLY News 11.
News 11's Sarah McCurdy and photojournalist Nick Carlson show us how tough it is to narrow down the field in search of a winner.
That one right there.
Out here, you'll find pine trees dotting the landscape and a touch of snow, just in time to jumpstart the holiday season.
It's really nice to do something as a family every year for Christmas.
The Hennebury family of Fargo started a new tradition 5 years ago. The Sunday after Thanksgiving, they bundle up and road trip in search of the best Christmas tree.
It's different every year. We usually, we like the long needles on them, and we like them full, nice and round.
With all the trees to choose from, you'd think it could take hours to find just the right one. But many people come here with the perfect pine already in mind.
Something that's tall enough, of course, and basically that has all of its pines and branches. Something that's really green.
In this maze of 52,000 trees,
It's like Christmas shopping. Might take a while.
you're bound to find some first-time tree shoppers.
Here she goes.
Good way to get back to nature.
As tree hunters trudge through the snow, holiday spirit seemed to wind its way through the rows. The owner says he knows exactly why that happens.
It's all this fresh air and being out in Mother Nature, and they can see deer running through the trees, and they know they're getting a fresh one.
Hey, can we get some help back here?
Something many families say they'll continue to do each holiday season.
2, 3, go.
Near Cormorant, Minnesota, Sarah McCurdy, KVLY News 11.
Looks like fun. A new chopped down tree can take up to a gallon of water each day. On this September 11th, the symbol of freedom was properly put to rest as Detroit Lakes Boy Scouts retired more than 50 flags. News 11 reporter Sarah McCurdy and photographer Nick Carlson show us how these star-spangled banners were taken out of service.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Americans flying the stars and stripes of Old Glory.
Most people don't pay much attention to it.
No, it should be displayed in good condition with honor.
But some do.
I noticed that a lot of the flags that were up were torn, tattered, and worn.
It's part of his climb to Eagle Scout, but 17-year-old Will Gaidosh sees it as an act of patriotism.
I feel like I'm honoring the people who have served for it. I feel like I'm honoring the memories of those who have died in this country.
In this official ceremony, Boy Scout and American Legion tradition join to retire the red, white, and blue.
50 flags, one for each day of the Union.
Alaska, Arizona.
The boys gave Girl Scout Barrett Ramstead Scoils a special role on a single sheet of paper.
The names of the states for me to read when they put them in.
She's the youngest to take part in the flag retirement at only 10 years old.
Minnesota.
And her part in all this is especially important to Mom and Boy Scout Master Karen.
I come from New York, and September 11th is a personally painful day for me.
The pain of the last 4 years hasn't faded for Karen, but it's changed. And a ceremony like this helps.
To be able to clean through the purging flames of the fire, and this ceremony helps honor and respect those who serve.
It is just important to us in Minnesota as it is to anybody else.
And any generation.
New York.
Realize, those people who have, served and died for it.
Sarah McCurdy, KVLY News 11, Detroit Lakes.
The Scouts set up collection points around Detroit Lakes to gather the worn-out stars and stripes.
I just truly enjoy being out here with my camera, my binoculars, and my atlases, and taking it in.
It's a trip Candace Sommerfeld makes every year.
And the greatest part is to go out in the morning and you have no idea what to expect.
She's followed flocks of Canada and snow geese to Enderlin, Alice, even Cayuga before, but today she's taken a shorter route.
Oh, this is amazing.
all thanks to this ocean of overland water.
They can black out the skies if you're in the right place at the right time. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm surprised there isn't a parade of people out here seeing all of this.
Well, for birders like Candace, this is a spectacular scene. As you can see, there's thousands of them that have migrated over here to the flooded fields near Harwood. Experts say these tornadoes of birds are here mostly for the food, a quick stop before they head up north to Canada.
They need the invertebrates for establishing their nests and their eggs, so they're attracted to the sheet water. And this spring, we've obviously got no shortage of sheet water in the Red River Valley.
As for Candace, she doesn't like to keep count of what she's seen.
Oh, wow, look at that.
She's more about the chase, the one chance to capture the sights and sound of nature's frequent flyers.
And every year, the expectation is it really going to happen again? Is it really going to be as great as it was the year before? And it always is.
Near Harwood, Yvonne Mann, Valley News Live.
Candace says she'll be heading to Glendon for her next stop. She hopes to catch the prairie chickens and maybe even some sandhill cranes while she's there.